What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Proof and Prosper. My name is Kayosha, and on this channel, I remind you that you don't need permission to design the life you desire, and I'm here to show you proof that it is possible. Thank you for joining me. So, I have finally completed my second backdrop in my room, and I was excited to record from my room today. You can tell behind me, I worked on this today, trying to finish it up, and I'm happy with the turnout. I really enjoy the fairy lights with the shrubbery look, with the neon signs and more shrubbery, and that's the look I was going for. And I think I did pretty good considering that I'm not really super creative and, I'm trying to get into it more, but I like it. I like the way it turned out. So this is where I prefer to be making my videos. So I wanted to make a cozier creative space in my room so that I can, start filming from my room more frequently. And I have a couple of times, but there's two main backdrops that I actually wanted to create. This one took the longest because I had to do a bit more work to get it set up. But the other one was the 3D wall panels that I installed, but I installed them on my closet door just because I thought the doorway was just like it looked really cool. To me, I love the way it turned out. So if you watched any of my previous videos, I talk about the 3D wall panel install in a couple of videos, I think maybe two or three other videos. And I completed that as far as on the door, but I think I might end up expanding that to the entire wall, or but I don't have enough panels left to complete the entire wall, so I think I'll just end up ordering some more panels and then, finishing that out. But for now, I was just really happy with the door, and I have the neon lights up, and I like the way it looks. So ultimately, I would say that I have completed my two backdrops that I had, the ones that I envisioned, and I'm really happy about it. This is probably the longest amount of time I've ever dedicated to decorating in like my room, um, in general. I've mentioned in other videos, I usually practice minimalism. I don't like a lot of things and a lot of clutter, and so I generally tend not to hang a lot of stuff up on the walls. You might get a picture or two here and there, but I usually don't put a lot of stuff up, and I usually just keep it to the basics, like as far as furniture is concerned, making sure that I have the central furniture and, a desk, and that's pretty that's pretty much it. But when I moved back home, and I came back to my old room and just realized, that there was really nothing in here besides a bed, a desk, and like one small dresser. I was like, okay, I think we can do we can do something. We can try to do something to, make it feel a bit more cozy and, make me feel more at home. I've spoken about this in a previous video of never ever really feeling at home anywhere that I am because I'm so used to moving around a lot. And that's another thing that played into why I never really spend, much time, dedicate much time to decorating, because I ultimately know there's a high probability that I'm not going to be staying where I am, for too long, and I just hate to like invest in a whole bunch of stuff like with decorations and stuff and then have to kind of move it around or get rid of it, and I just never wanted to be bothered with that. So I think that's also one of the reasons that plays into my minimalist lifestyle. But one thing since moving back home is that that I realized is minimalism is out the door. Minimalism is out the door. Ultimately, I'm trying to control it as best as I can just in my particular space, but um right now I kind of have to put those ideals aside, just to make sure that I'm comfortable and stuff like that. So I think it's working out okay. Now getting back to decluttering and reselling old items is the next thing on my list. Now that I've actually completed my backdrops in my room, I can go back to dedicating and focusing, 100% of that energy on getting back to getting rid of some of the stuff. I still have a good amount of stuff left, and I'll probably still make a few videos on it, at least until I get it down to what I would consider like a more reasonable amount of things just to have left over. I ultimately know that I'm not going to be able to get rid of everything, but I'm going to try really hard to continue to get rid of the stuff that just takes up the most space. And I think ultimately I have about, I would say, 3 or 4 large moving boxes, like the Home Depot moving boxes, full of randomness, um, that I need to get rid of. So that's going to be, now that I'm, like I said, now that I'm done this goal, I can go back to that goal, and um I need to continue to take inventory of the things that I have so that I can just get a bit more organized on the stuff that I want to try to get rid of first, because that's how I started off. Like, there was certain things that I knew that I wanted to get rid of like right away, and I was able to get rid of that stuff right away. But what has happened is, I would say, my sales on Facebook Marketplace have just completely ceased. Um, I would say for about the last 2, maybe 3 weeks. I would say probably the last 3 weeks I haven't been making any sales, and so I think it may be time to switch up platforms. I'm not going to completely abandon Facebook Marketplace because it works out pretty good, but it's just like everything has just stopped. I thought maybe they, revamped it or whatever to kind of keep the sales and stuff to continue, because like I said, I had never really experienced like as many sales or ever really posted as much stuff for sale as I have since I've been home. And but now it's back to the old Facebook Marketplace that I know. So I don't know what may have happened, but I think I still have some pretty good stuff listed for sale on there. But yeah, just the sales have completely stopped. So I'm gonna, renew some of those listings, maybe try to post them in different groups, and ultimately continue to list new items for sale. And I'm trying. I created a Whatnot account. I also made a video about this on my first attempt at trying to do like a live sell event, and I didn't really give a super thorough review of it. Like, I just talked about the experience, because honestly, I really didn't completely understand how the app works, and I've gained a little bit more knowledge about how it works now, so that I can maybe attempt to approach it differently. But I definitely don't recommend, like, if you're thinking about reselling items, specifically maybe on like Whatnot, I definitely don't recommend what they kind of promote and egg you on to do, which is go straight into live selling, especially if it's your first time using it. Because, and I mean, hindsight now is 2020, but at the time I didn't realize that this is how it worked. I just thought that that's what you do. You just go in there and you live sell, but it's way more to it than that. Number one, like, the accounts, you have to have followers on your account and all of that stuff, and that's kind of what makes your selling possible, apparently. Now, this is just from what I understand, and it may be wrong, but after going through the process and then kind of looking up more videos about it and realizing, okay, there's a lot more to that Whatnot app than meets the eye, and how they promoted it. They do kind of suck you in and go, hey, you know, you do this live sale and you can get this, or refer these people and you can get this. And so I was like, okay, yeah, boom, I'll get on there and live sell. But I think maybe a handful of people checked in or tuned into the live sale. But I was like struggling, like, I was, people would, it would show you that people was joining your live, and it would prompt you throughout, the experience, telling you how to engage with the people and prompting you to type, questions, or it was just doing a lot that you were trying to do that, in addition to like live selling. And I think I'm gonna approach it a little bit different, especially I think I approached it. I think I did okay. I was outside. I had a lot of things that I hadn't really particularly organized, and I just thought it would just be better if I just did it from outside. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna. Well, I know I'm not gonna do that anymore. I think I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more cozy, especially now that I have my space kind of set up the way that I want it. And I'm just gonna approach it from a different angle. Again, do a little bit more, try to do a little bit more research on what I need to do. And also too, they have the live selling element, but then I believe they also just have like the static element of just listing things for sale. But it's a bit, to me, not as, it's a bit convoluted. Like, it's, especially if you're doing it like from your mobile phone, which I think that that's the whole idea, is just doing everything from your phone, figuring out like how to post stuff for a static sale versus what you're listing to be on auction versus what you're listing in a live sale. Like, it's just a lot. Like, that app is just a lot. And I'm not for sure that I've seen any like content on YouTube, like people who have sold on it, that really talks about all of these different elements. And but I also haven't watched, it's not like I watched a ton of videos. I think I maybe only watched like 2 or 3 videos about people's experience live selling on Whatnot. And I don't believe I remember anybody saying, oh, well, the auctions, and then you got to do the live sale, and you know what I mean, and then having followers and stuff like that. It's just a lot to that to that app. And more power to the people that are successful on those apps, because to me it takes just like a lot of, it just seems to be a lot of hard work to be successful on platforms like that. And I only tried it because I actually, someone recommended trying, using that app to help get rid of stuff like when you're moving and things of that nature. It's like they recommended it. And so that's how I even found out about it. So I was going about it the same way as I went about, Facebook Marketplace, but soon realized that it isn't as simple as Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is simple. It's just tedious. It's very time consuming to list things for sale. And it's the same on Whatnot, but what makes Whatnot more challenging is that there's way more elements to it. Like I said, you have like all these different ways to sell on the same one app, and you have to figure out how to navigate between the three. And then things aren't as easy to figure out, at least in my opinion. It's not very, what's the term, I want to say not user friendly, but intuitive. It's not, to me, it's not an intuitive app where things are just, where the things you select just flow naturally into the next thing. It's not clunky, but it's just not, it just doesn't flow as as well as I would imagine it should. And this is just my opinion. I just think it's kind of hard and difficult to figure out where you need to go to do things. And so yeah, I don't know. I might look into a different app other than Whatnot. That one might have been just like 0 to 100 real quick type situation. So there's a couple, there's like one or two other ones that I heard about that I might check out to see if how closely they resemble. I'm trying to just find something like I used to back in the day. I used to use this app called Mercari. It's probably still around, but I was trying to get back on there and create a new account, but apparently I mean, I used to use it and it still remembers my phone number, but for some reason it's not allowing me to even create a new account or even do. I forgot my password. It doesn't send me the password reset, so I've just kind of given up on it. I had been trying to get back on my card for a very long time, even before I just my recent move and stuff, because I used to sell like sneakers and stuff like retro J's and stuff that I would get, and then not really want to keep. I always like with retros, I always just see if I can get them. The thrill of trying to see if I can beat thousands of other people online to get a retro when it drops. And the times that I've been successful, I'd maybe wear the shoes tops maybe 5 times, if that many times, and then I'd end up reselling them and just pretty much making the money back that I spent on them. And because J's like Jordans, retro Jordans and stuff, they're so popular, but honestly, I don't think they're the most comfortable shoes to wear. I think that the most comfortable ones are maybe like the older, ones, like the ones that are more of a simpler shoe. But like all of the retro J's that I've ever worn, and that's one of the reasons too why I just wear them minimally. It's not really because I'm afraid of getting them dirty or anything. It's just that I don't find them particularly comfortable, especially to wear all day, or like if you're walking around a lot. They're really pretty to look at though. If you're just sitting stationary and you just want to, yeah, I mean, floss on them. I don't know what the kids are saying nowadays. I don't know if they're saying floss or what they're saying. But if you just want flex, floss, flex, I don't know. They're the perfect shoe for that. But don't let you need to walk around a lot because, yeah. But in any event, trying some different reselling apps. There's one called, I think it's called Vintage or something like that. That's supposed to be similar to like Mercari, I think. Or and I never really tried Poshmark. I always just associated Poshmark with like accessories like pocketbooks and stuff like that, and primarily like women's clothing. But that seems how they market it. But I've never actually gone on there and really tried to sell anything, so I need to go on there and see. But I'm pretty sure they have like other things on there. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to kind of getting back into reselling and trying to get rid of this stuff. I initially gave myself a very ambitious 30-day goal to get rid of stuff, but I was just feeling really motivated. But now that I have taken a step back and realizing, number one, 30 days is just really not a lot of time now. Like the way time goes by so fast, 30 days is just not a lot of time to give yourself, especially when it comes to decluttering, and especially if you have a good amount of stuff. And fortunately, my timeline isn't as short as I believed it was going to be, which is why I gave myself such an ambitious goal. But ultimately, I'm just really more so just motivated by just getting the stuff out of the house, out of the house and out of the way. And you know what I mean? I have it pretty, organized and compact and in certain spots where there is room for it. But just once, like, if I could just get rid of all of those boxes of stuff, it'll just relieve a lot of space for me mentally. It'll just relieve a little bit of stress. And when I say stress, just knowing that it's still there, to me, I consider that kind of stress. It is there and it needs to go. Like, you know what I mean? It'll just relieve that type of stress off my shoulders. And so, yeah, so that's my focus. And I look forward to doing like a total tally of like all how many things I sold and how much money I made. I think a subtotal so far, I've added it up. I've made about $400 so far, and I sold about 12 or 13 different things so far. And so I think that's pretty good. So so yeah, that's really what I am going to just really hunker down and focus on that and getting into my cozy gaming. Y'all, I'm like, okay. So, what I spent most of the day on, I had to take my dog to the vet and do some other things today, but once I came kind of got back to the house and um I've been working on my room, my backdrop, and also too whenever I start to learn something, I can get lost in it really quick. And so today I was really um trying to learn how to really use all of my Apple products in tandem, because that's one thing that I absolutely love about Apple is how they make everything to like work together. So I was actually just learning how to use my phone in tandem with my MacBook, my multiple, different phones and accessories and everything. Just trying to figure out what the native applications are that'll allow me to do different things with like recording and, video and all of that stuff, recording gameplay and, just doing, a bunch of random stuff that in my mind is so amazing if I, get around to that skill level of being able to use some of these tools. And so I spent a good amount of time on that today. And I'm just like, these products are just so cool. Like, they're so cool. They do so much. And for me, like I said, I don't think I've had this MacBook for even a year yet. And I have a MacBook, a M3 MacBook Air. And this is just kind of like my ease into Mac computing outside of just using an iPhone and like an Apple Watch. And I had an iPad, but I traded that into so that I can go so it can go towards my I traded in to go towards my phone, I think, not this laptop. But in any event, just learning how to use it better and figuring out how stuff works and what apps do what, especially in relation to content creation, like the things that I'm trying to use for my content creation and stuff. And so I got a bit carried away looking up that kind of stuff and learning how to do stuff for a few hours today, probably for about 3 or 4 hours. And so I've learned some stuff, and I'm looking forward to kind of putting what I learned into practice in videos to come. So so yeah, that was pretty much my day. I didn't really get on here anticipating to just run down my day, run down what my day consisted of. But with this daily posting, you're going to run into it. You're gonna run into it sometimes because I just a lot of times I start and it drives me nuts because I'll start off with an idea like earlier in the day, and between just procrastinating or just having other things to do, you know, um, by the time I get back around to the idea, I'm like, it's late. Should I try to run with that? Because I have these really, see, the thing about it is, I have these really grandiose ideas of things that I want to do and want to talk about. But then when it comes to it, I'm like, I really needed to give myself a bit more time to prepare to talk about this and to be able to show these things on screens and stuff. I am working on it. I'm working on it, y'all. I'm still in the learning curve phase of things and just also battling the perfectionism and just feeling like it has to be perfect, in order for me to, so a little bit of that is still there. But I'm slowly but surely starting to quiet that. I've been quieting it a little bit and just kind of coming on here and just flowing with y'all and chatting with y'all because I really enjoy it. It's pretty cool and so again, like I had mentioned in one of the videos, I'm warming up. I'm just warming up, just trying to get comfortable, more comfortable in my space, more comfortable with my gear, um, and just more comfortable with me speaking to you all. So, in any event, that is all I wanted to share in this video. In this video, I'm making progress. I am making progress slowly but surely, and um, just looking forward to continuing to create in my space. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.